Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, and you can follow on social media, whether it's through Instagram, TikTok, or X. It is Thursday. We are near the weekend. Today's episode is just going to be the Fulham preview as well. We have that game going on Sunday. I hope everyone enjoyed yesterday's Champions League, and I hope everyone was watching the Benfica Real Madrid game as well. But let's focus on the task at hand. We are playing Fulham this weekend. It is the second go around. First time we did draw. Listen, as much as we are happy with the last two wins against Arsenal, against Man City, it's these types of games that you have to be concerned with. Because again, the way the squad can be, the way the personality is, they like to play against big teams. Again, it's not just, some of these players would like to show up against the big teams, but consistency has not been the word to use to describe Manchester United, obviously for the last 10 years, but especially this season. Listen, there are times where we have given up goals and we have fallen apart, especially last year when we had that. This year, we still fight back. We try to get the win, but sometimes we're settling with a draw. But this weekend, obviously, it's a completely different story. Different manager, different formation. Even just different sets of players are going to be away from that game. Well, just looking at the lineup before, obviously we're the 3-4-3. Bayender is in net. We're going to have 70 Lemens there. Shaw will be doing my lineup predictions. Shaw was in that game. Hint, he will be in this game as well. De Ligt, Yoro. Yoro was a starter. He will be coming off the bench. De Ligt is still injured. Ahmad, yes. Dorgu is now out for the next 10 weeks minimum. Could be back sooner, but he is out for at least 10 weeks. Bruno, the formation's changed as well. The good old 4-2-3-1. That's the formation that we're going with. And then you had Mbeumo, Cunha, and Mount. Mount will be coming off the bench because, again, he hasn't made any starts. But we're at that point of the season where we're not playing many games. So rotation is at a minimum, to say the least. But the way the game went the last time we played them, we didn't score a goal offensively. It was our second game in. We still hadn't scored a goal with the purchases that we made. We had Cunha and Mbeumo that had just signed. You had them starting. They weren't able to score. The team was still getting used to each other. That's the thing. You're still getting familiar with everything that's going on. But the team did start slowly building and building and building. And obviously things have changed. Manager's gone. We had a short-term manager. And then you had the interim, which is now Michael Carrick. It is great that we have won 2 games. It's great that we've beaten City. It's great that we're beating Arsenal. At the end of the day, it means nothing unless we do what we do in this next game. We have to perform. We have to show up. We have to be able to play to our best. And has Manchester United been doing that? Well, no, because again, with the managers before Carrick, you had Darren Fletcher, who lost and drew a game. And then you had Amarim, who was drawing games, winning some, but the losses weren't as bad. Like we had some disappointing losses, but we did not have a struggle like we had like in years past. And the attitude and everything had changed, and obviously the player FC and everything. We know what Amarim had done, but looking at it closely, the squad shows up when it's the big games. We've seen them play well. We still talk about that first game against Arsenal. We've beaten Chelsea, Liverpool as well. And then we're facing against City and Arsenal again, and we won those games. So we've shown up against some of the big teams. Some of the games where we have given up goals quickly in the past, we would drop quickly and lose those games. These ones here, we're coming back and drawing them. And yes, there are struggles. We had injuries. We had players away. which people like to ignore because they assume that the roster that we've had previously, like that we would have, was strong enough to face some of those teams, which they weren't. The rosters were there and there were struggles. I always go for the win, as I always say, but there were struggles in those games. But this game here, again, and I've mentioned it before in episodes of the pod, trap games. This could be a trap game. People are riding the last two games so high that they're thinking that it's just going to be a cakewalk. And this game is not just important about the game. We have the protest going on as well. I do want to mention that. There is the protest by the 1958 going on today. It will be going on before the game. And I do wish the success of the protest and everything that's going on. That I really do. Because it means a lot to the club. It means a lot to the fans that are trying to get the club back to what it used to be. But we are in those struggles, but we still have a game to play. And I hope the players respond to those fans showing the support like they do. Because the one thing, too, is we also need the player support in this event as well. And I'm not asking the players to turn their back or anything on like the managers or whatever going on, but to show the support to the fans that the players hear you in a way that we're here, we're doing this for you. Like the fans want to turn the club back to the days where the club is being ran well, no debt, nothing is going on. And right now we're wondering, is that potentially possible? But we know what's happening, what the challenges are. We're not going to be getting any transfers. There's going to be talks, so on and so forth. I noticed that Raheem Sterling was let go from Chelsea. I made a comment too, as well as that, hey, maybe they're going to go for him. Manchester United wouldn't surprise me because we tried to go for him last year as well. But again, we're here with a blank transfer window. We're not going to get anyone. There's no one there. We're going to hear the spin of, well, we tried, but there's nothing available for the long-term future, air quotes, so on and so forth. We know what the bullshit's going to be. It's there. But again, the whole thing and that bullshit that I'm mentioning is why we're in the 58 protesting. The way the manager model is working, the debt, the Glazers, everything that's going on right now, how the club is being run has been affected, is being protested. And it's showing. So and I know there's talks of, well, we just beat two teams in a row, we shouldn't do the protest. The protest still needs to stand. And I will be honest with you, I was one of those people at the beginning of the season to hold off the protest because, again, it was the start of the season. We had to see what was going to happen. We had to see if there was going to be a change and everything. Obviously, I got blinded. I'll admit it. I'll say it. And I knew the team needed time because, listen, the one thing too is I knew the team needed time. I knew they needed a project and it had to build. And I knew what the quality was. As much as we had the additions, there were still, we still had pieces there that still affected how the club was going to turn out, especially on game days. But now when we look at it, when you hear everything that happened behind the scenes, and it's up to you and how you interpret it. But realistically, we saw what happened behind the scenes. Having them come out and say we didn't plan on sacking him, well, then you shouldn't have sacked. Like, we're hearing a lot of stories and a lot of spins too. Remember, the manager won't come out and say anything because they can't say anything for a bit. They can't do anything at this time. But the manager spin is there. We know what the board is doing. We're hearing whatever. We're hearing whatever's being said, especially by some members of The Athletic and some other news outlets. We're hearing like the spins. And we've heard many pundits come back out and question this ownership and everything. That's how it's being handled, which is great. That's what we'd like to see. And we've seen some comments from ex-players and so on and so forth. Obviously, Rio, we know the whole Scholes, Rio, Neville, Keane, those guys, everything that's going on, cool. Sorry, I forgot Nicky Butt as well. But realistically, when we look at it, there's struggles here. And we know what the spin is. But I do wish everyone that's going to the protest again on Sunday all the best. I really do. I hope it is a turnout. From what I've been reading and reporting, 5,000 to 6,000 fans going to be in that protest. And I hope everything works out well. But going back to the game, we have to realize that we have to close out the game. The one when we played them last time, again, we didn't score. It was an own goal, but we couldn't maintain the lead. If you remember, we couldn't maintain the lead when we played them. Our goal went in at the 58th. We couldn't close, and again, it was an error in defense. And I believe it was Bruno who was in the pivot at the time, covering, and then lost out on it. Overall, again, we have to be defensively strong. Remember, consistency, discipline, and finish. This is what the squad has to be. And like I mentioned, it's going to be a different squad this time. The manager's different. Personnel are going to be different. Everything's going to be different on how we're playing. And listen, it's great that we've beaten the top two teams in our league and some of the top teams in Champions League. But realistically, that doesn't mean anything with the result that we come out with on whatever the result is on Sunday. We come out with. Again, I'm always going for the win, and I'm hoping it is a win. But realistically, if we come out with a loss, and this is why I'm saying it's a trap game, because everyone is riding so high. And it's fan channels, it's pundits, it is some of the fan base. They are riding so high, like Icarus to the sun, that they're going to crash so fast if we come out with a loss on Sunday. And that's the truth. That's the thing here. We're going to ride it so high, and that if we come out with a loss, we're going to crash. But this is where we're coming at here. We always show up against Big Six teams. We always show up against those clubs. We're going to show up at a derby. We're going to show up against Arsenal. But realistically, we have to show up the way we did against Fulham. I think we're playing. We play Tottenham next week. After that, we have to be able to step up. We have to step in and step up and get ready to go. So there's a lot of things here that they need to do. And again, the personnel is going to be different. The formation is going to be different. We won't have Patrick Dorgu this game. We don't have De Ligt this game. Bayender is now on the bench, being replaced by Semi Lemens. Mount will be there as well. You'll see Mainu on the pitch, where you'll have Bruno up in more of an attacking role. So it will be intriguing to see how everything plays out. It is. And I'm going to be doing my lineup in about the next 20 seconds or so, because we need to move it, everything else. And again, the midfield's always been a struggle. Injury is always a risk, especially now when you lose a guy like Dorgu. He is out. He's out for 10 weeks. So we're going to miss that explosiveness off the wing. It was huge to have him there. Okay, I'm going to do my lineup as well. So Lemens, obviously in keeper. We're going to go with Diego Dalot, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw. We're basically going to go with the same lineup as last week for the back four. Casemiro, Mainu as well. Continue that going on. They have played well together. Now can they do it against Fulham, Ahmad, Bruno, and Buemo as those three? Remember, we have no Dorgu. As I was mentioning, losing him does suck. It hurts. And when I go to the striker, I'll start talking about that too, because this is kind of the way you're looking at the prediction here. And I know last episode, I believe, I mentioned that I would see Sesko starting, and with Cunha coming off the bench. And I haven't backtracked, but I've changed my mind when I was doing my predictions today. But again, having Mbuemo go out to the wing, or you can have Cunha there and have Mbuemo in that same start, so on and so forth. But realistically, right now we are going to miss a big piece, and that's going to be tough to replace, that energy. We know Cunha can bring it for 90 minutes. We know Mbuemo as well. Mbuemo has been playing very well. What I might do is I might edit an update. I might just keep Mbuemo to where he was at that striker position. Actually, I'm going to do that. So Ahmad, Fernandez, and Cunha as those three, and then Mbuemo as the striker. Listen, it's going to be interesting to see, and I would like to see Sesko get those minutes. I really would, but it's up to how Carrick wants to play. It really is. Carrick Carrick's the one that's with them with them, so he's going to see how they're going to be playing. I'm just getting everything here. I'm just going to try and fix my little update here, and then I'm going to resend that to myself. And yes, like I mentioned, it could continue on with Cunha at the striker, or Mbeumo. I even thought about Sesko there, and you have Cunha coming off the bench, because Cunha has been good coming off the bench. You saw the goal, you saw the winner, but in this case here, that now that Dorgu's out, do you push Mbeumo back to the wing, or do you go to Cunha on that wing? So I think I'll keep Mbeumo where he is. Then I think having Cunha out on that left wing works better, and obviously we know Mbeumo does work better on the right, usually, but we've seen him score from whatever foot. But we have to make sure the attack is there, and it's going to be interesting to see that attack with Ahmad, Bruno, Mbeumo, and Cunha. It's an attack that I know a lot of people are going to be thriving for. So right now, we got to go for the win. We always do. It's great that we're in a Champions League position. Like I said, I've said it before. It's great what we are now, but at the end of the day, if we're losing out on it at the end of the season, I don't give a shit that we were in fourth now. I give a shit we're in the fourth at the end of the season or third. There's still plenty of football to go. There's still plenty of screw-ups that can potentially happen. I'm not saying Carrick's going to go undefeated for the final games, but we're at a point where we're like, well, shit. Like, it's great that in February or end of January that we're sitting onto that Champions League spot, but that's not guaranteed. We can lose out on that tomorrow or on Sunday. We have to be able to close it out, and we have to play well. And yes, we're going to have to rely on other people, like losing games and other opponents that we need to win to drop those in front of us down as well. Yes. Sorry to say, but that's the nature of sports. Like, we always require, someone's always got to win, someone's always got to lose. But obviously in our position here, we're hoping that some teams do lose and some teams help us out and so on and so forth. But we cannot struggle. We cannot, we have to show up. That's the thing. And it's great that we've won against two teams. It is. But Fulham can play us well. Let's remember that, ladies and gentlemen. We have struggled, and I remember that in the first episode. If you want to listen to it, you can. But we have struggled with Fulham. We've seen what they can do. They have beaten us. We have had our problems with them, especially when we've gone onto the road to their end. We have struggled there, and we can struggle today on Sunday. I'm going to get my days right. I'm sorry, but we can. It's not going to be easy what we're doing. Like, we have to be consistent, and we have to show. Once we get those spaces, we have to be able to control. One thing I would like to see Kobe Mainoo do, if he is given the highway, take the ball up. Casemiro sometimes carries the ball up. Maguire will carry the ball up. Don't do these back passes or anything. This is not just to Mainoo, it's the whole squad. If you see the lanes, take it. Because if they're giving it to you, take advantage of it, because we're going to find someone open. Again, you give Cunha space, he's going to score. You give Mbeumo space, he's going to score. You give Bruno, Ahmad, you give those spaces for players to get their shots off, we're going to score. Fulham has beaten us. Let's not hide that. Like, I got the matchups here. So yeah, like I said, we have struggled. Again, we're not going in with dominating wins. So obviously the draw, yes, we came away with a win last January. Obviously losing the FA Cup as well. We had that struggle. So just give me a moment here. These aren't all the head-to-heads. We're missing one from. Yeah, we're missing one from the summer. But we have demonstrated struggles against the squad. We have. And we know how well we can play. We know how good the roster can be. But we have to be able to show up when it matters. And this is what Sunday's all about. So we know everyone's got to be key, everyone's got to match up, but We have to protect the ball. We have to get the ball in the back of the net, and so on and so forth. Once again, my lineup is going to be, I'll just get the new updated lineup. So it's going to be Lemens, same back four as always, Delo, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Manu still in the middle, and then Cunha where Dorgu is, and Mbeumo in the same spot, the same with Ahmad, and Ahmad and Bruno in the same spot, and same with Mbeumo. So just Cunha is the replacement. He has been playing well, especially out on that wing. You can switch him to a striker as well, or you have Mbeumo in that location, either or. But I think Mbeumo needs to stay there and have Cunha out on that wing on that attack as well. So it'll be exciting to see the type of attack that we have here with these four. But moving the ball, controlling the mid, getting the attack, finishing, that's what we really do need. And we can't let Fulham get those goals in either. But when we do play Fulham, we know how hard they can play, and we know that can be a struggle for us just to try and get a goal. So I'll leave it there for the podcast. I will talk to you guys tomorrow night as well with the women's preview, because they are playing on Sunday as well. I'm going to catch up on some of the women's squad too. We should have press conferences coming out as well, so if anything changes, I will announce that. But do enjoy the game on Sunday. I will be doing my post game. It will be a little bit combined because we'll have back-to-back. Women play Liverpool Sunday morning, and then 9 o'clock we're playing Fulham. So it's definitely going to be a crazy day for episodes. So tune into that. But yes, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the matches. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, follow YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and as well as Instagram, TikTok, and X for my social media. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.